Lovely. So you come onto your backs with your belt handy. And take your time to settle. So hi, you're going to need some kind of belt or a strap for this class. Welcome. Let's take a few moments to drop into the body. Giving yourself that time to arrive and to notice what is present right now for you. How do you feel? Do you feel heavy and tired, or maybe there's a lightness, a buoyancy in your body this morning? Or maybe you find both qualities in different places. The point is to notice and to welcome whatever's present into your practice. Really aware of the support beneath you. And noticing the quality of your breath. Where do you feel the breath in the body this morning? Where does it call your attention? And do you find that you're more interested in the inhalation or in the exhalation? Hi Lynn, just seen you've joined. You're going to need a belt or a strap in a moment. I'm going to bring our attention to the pelvis, so you can feel the weight of your sacrum, the back of your pelvis, against the mat. And just like we do often, we're going to gently, on the breath in, roll over the tailbone so that we end up arching our lower back. Pausing a moment here and then exhaling, rolling the pelvis back so that your back flattens and your abdominal muscles condense against the spine. So come into your own rhythm here. We're simply tilting the pelvis. Wonderful for any lower back, sacroiliac issues you might or might not have. And this should feel quite a soothing way to come into the practice today, and a way to feel the connection between your legs, your pelvis, and maybe a ripple of movement up the spine. You notice how far that ripple moves for you. So I'm noticing that my shoulders and head are also moving in response to the tilt of the pelvis. And breathe. And next time you exhale and flatten the back, bring your hands around your right knee and bring it in towards you. And we continue that pelvic tilting, but moving the knee away on the inhale and drawing the knee towards us on the exhale as you flatten your back. So if you were in the gentle yoga class Friday morning, we're beginning the class today with the same sequence for the lower body. So we're really feeling into the lower back, the pelvis, the right hip now. You could take your knee in your right hand and just allow now the knee to rock out to the side, draw it over the body. So we're moving in the hip socket, aware of the connection of the thigh bone in the hip socket. And it can be quite nice to do the full circle now, drawing the knee around in a clockwise direction perhaps to begin with. And then an anti-clockwise direction. Wonderful. And then you bring your knee in towards you and take your belt or strap over the ball of the foot. And lengthen the leg as far as works for you, but keep your upper arms on the floor so you're not reaching up to the belt. And I'd like you to begin that tilt of the pelvis again. So you, as you rock the pelvis forwards, your leg might move away as you peel your lower back off the floor. And as you flatten your lower back, pelvis comes back. You might find your leg comes further towards you. So take a few rounds like this. It's not like we're coming into the deepest hamstring stretch possible, but we're saying hello to the back of the right leg. If you wanted to, you could slide the left leg away. And breathe. Wonderful. And then taking both sides of the belt in the right hand, as you just hold your leg there, bring your left knee into your hand. And your legs start together, take a breath in. And then you take your legs apart as far as they'll go. And you're not looking to tilt to either side. You're not looking to try and touch the floor with your right foot, for example. But we're just looking to really stabilize the pelvis. And maybe you'll start feeling sensation in the inside of the legs into the groin. Take a few breaths. And then breathing in, bring your legs together again and drop the left foot to the floor. Take your left foot further out to the side and take both sides of the belt in your right hand. So this is going to be brilliant stability for the sacroiliac. You're going to allow your left knee to drop in to the middle, so dropping to the right, as you bring your right leg over, crossing the legs at the top. And take a few breaths here, noticing where you feel this, probably on the outside of the right leg, the buttock. And breathe, but with a complete stability in the sacrum. And this may be where you want to stay. Actually, I'd like just to make a minor adjustment here. Could you take the belt to just in front of your heel rather than the ball of the foot? Just gives a slightly different quality, different stability down into the ball and socket joint. And you might want to stay here with the legs crossed, but some of you might like to try sliding the left leg away and drawing the right leg all the way over. You can roll over onto the side of the body here. But then look over your right shoulder if that's possible and relax a little, soften a little into the right shoulder. No strain here. So we bring a twist into the equation, a rotation of the spine. Breathing here. Trying to completely soften into the ribs, the shoulders, the neck. Breathe. And if you'd like to bring your head back to neutral, take the belt in your right hand so you can swing yourself all the way up again. Release the belt. So you take a breath in with the right leg extended. And then engaging your abdominal muscles, breathing out. Slowly float the leg down. So it's quite a study into the hips, the legs, the sacrum. And notice now how you feel with the whole body against the mat. And then we'll take that to the other side. So if you'd like to bend your knees up. We start with that pelvic tilting. So tilting forwards on the inhale. On the exhale, you tilt back. And now draw your left knee in towards you as your back flattens. And as you breathe in, tilt the pelvis, knee moves away. As you breathe out, it's so soothing, isn't it? Take a few rounds. I'm feeling pretty stiff myself, so it just feels like a very lovely way to ease into the practice this morning. Hope you agree. And then you could take your left knee in the left hand and just move it gently from side to side. Just having a different way of moving into the hip socket. And then begin to circle the knee. So you get the full circle into the hip socket. I've started in a clockwise direction. Take a few circles in an anti-clockwise direction. So there are parts of the practice today which will be, if you choose to do them, could be quite strenuous, could be quite, not strenuous, but if they're not feeling like what you want to do today, I really encourage you to watch your own body, your own edge. Draw your knee in towards you now and take the belt over the ball of the foot. And don't feel you have to do everything that I say. So we're holding the belt over the ball of the foot. Arms are relaxed, shoulders relaxed. And you come back to that pelvic tilting. Allow the leg to move away as you tilt the pelvis forwards. And then bring it towards you with the tilt back of the pelvis. Lovely. I'll try and remember to give you variations in some of the stronger poses in case you don't feel like doing the whole thing. Maybe that I'm one of those people today. Wonderful. Okay, and then taking both sides of the belt in the right hand and left hand, and bring your right knee into your hand. Take a breath in here and then open the legs as wide as they'll go without tilting to one side. Keep absolute stability in the pelvis. And breathe here. Trying to remain as soft as you can in your face, your throat. Inhaling, bring your legs together and change your hands on the belt. And take your right foot down and move it further to the right so that you can allow the right knee to fall into the middle, and you bring your left leg over Right, so you've got a nice solid cross at the top of the thighs and stability in the sacrum. Take a few breaths here. So I've done it again. Take the belt down to just in front of the heel. This gives you a slightly different purchase on the leg. And you're welcome to stay exactly here. This might be enough. Or slide the right leg long. I'm going to need to move over. And roll over onto the right side of the body, bringing the left leg with you. And then you can, if you're able to, look over your left shoulder, soften into the left shoulder blade, and take a few breaths. So we're bringing a twist into the pelvis, we're bringing a twist into the spine, and a massage for our abdominal organs, as well as potentially an opening for the shoulders and the chest. Breathe. And then bring your head back to look at the ceiling. Take the belt in your left hand and swing your leg up. Remove the belt from the foot, take a breath in, and engage your abdominal muscles to help you slowly float the leg to the floor. And take a little time here to rest, to feel the whole body. And then you can bring your knees into your chest. Have a little roll around on your lower back. Maybe circle both knees in one direction. And then in the other. And we're going to meet in an all fours position. So you could roll up and down your spine. You could come over to one side. So really take notice of where your hands meet the mat. Maybe your fingers are spread, tops of your feet. And on a breath in, tilt the pelvis forwards again. So much more room for movement, then lower the belly towards the floor, open the chest. And on a breath out, tilt the pelvis back and take the back of your ribs up towards the ceiling. Come into your own rhythm of your cat-cow now. Use it not only to lubricate the spine or to bring mobility in the spine, but to notice the engagement of your abdominal core on the exhale. Release on the inhale. Draw it up on the exhale. And you might like to add a child's pose in towards the end of the exhale. Draw yourself back towards your heels. As you inhale, come up. Really feel between the shoulder blades. Exhale, scoop up, back towards your heels. Keep going in your own rhythm, just very soothing again for the spine. Try not to be mechanical in your movements, but completely attuned to the breath, to your skin. because that is what will really help you. That's what will really help your nervous system in particular, is that attention. And then we'll meet again on all fours. And on a breath in, take your right elbow up and open the arm out. Little twist for the thoracic spine. Feel the right shoulder blade. And exhale, sweep the arm under the left. Shoulder head comes down. On a breath in, we open up again. You can feel the ribs, the shoulders all the way to the fingertips. Exhale, come down. One more time, but this time stay open. Come up onto your left fingertips and see if you can open a little bit more. Bring the right arm as far behind you as you can and feel the brightness here. Breathe into the ribs, into the chest. Take another breath in, and then we sweep the arm under again. If you can't rest on your shoulder and your head, take a cushion or a blanket underneath. And it may be that this is where you need to stay, or you might lift your left arm, sweep it behind your back, maybe reach to the top of your right thigh if that's available, or leave the hand on your lower back. And you're drawing the left shoulder back, looking over the left shoulder. Some of you will roll onto the back of your head a little, and some of you may straighten out the left leg. Toes are curled under. Just gives you a little bit more room to rotate in the mid to upper back. If you want to add a balance, you lift the left leg off the floor. Really engage the muscles of that leg. You can point the toes and breathe. Take a full breath in. Bring your knee back in again if it was away. Drop your left hand by your face. And then inhaling, we open one last time to the right. And exhale, bring the hand down. Just take a little notice of how different you feel on each side of the body. It's a great way into the mid to upper back. So our spines are much more mobile in the neck and in the lower part of the spine, but here where the spine corresponds with the rib cage, it's quite tight and hard to get to. So I really love doing what we've just done for that. Let's take it to the left. Breathe in, elbow, hand to the left. Breathe out, sweep through. Breathe in, elbow, hand to the left. Breathe out, sweep through. Last time, come up on your right fingertips to give you a little bit more opening. Maybe bring your left arm a little behind you and breathe. One more breath in, and then sweep the arm under. Maybe resting your head, your shoulder on the blanket if it's not easy to come to the floor. Lifting up your right arm, sweeping it over your lower back or reaching for the top of the thigh. And rolling that right shoulder back and looking over it if you can, maybe onto the top back of your head. Maybe straighten the right leg. Toes are curled. Find your breath and your stability and maybe lift the right leg up, pointing through the toes. Breathe. Take a breath in and then exhale with control. Drop the right knee and the right hand back down. And breathing in, open to the left. And drop your hand. And come briefly to a child's pose. You can take your knees apart, arms out in front. And see if you can really drop in between the shoulder blades here, the back of the ribs. Breathe. Next time you breathe in, come up to all fours. Dip into the spine. Curl your toes under, come to a downward dog. And we'll just take a few little movements here. So breathing in, exhale, drop your knees, come back to child. Breathe into all fours, dip between the shoulder blades, curl your toes under, exhale, downward dog. Can you come into your own rhythm? And we're just moving 3 poses. Child's pose, cat cow, downward dog. You find your rhythm, just lovely way of coming into the spine. And one of these times you come up and you stay in your downward dog and take about 5 breaths to do whatever you want to do in your dog this morning. And that might mean stay still, or you might need to walk. You might want to bend your knees quite a lot, walk it out. Stay with the breath. And then looking in between your hands, walk or step your feet forwards. So you're standing in a forward fold. Inhale, find length in the spine as you lift your chest. And exhale, fold completely. Pressing into your feet, inhale, come all the way up. Reaching up, maybe your pelvis comes slightly forwards. And then straighten, exhale, hands to the heart. Take a moment to feel the body now. So we're being very slow, very attentive in this practice. Can we bring that attention in now as we begin to flow a little bit more, breathing in, come up. And breathe out, fold. Breathing into a flat back. And step back to your downward dog. We're going to come into pigeon with the right knee forwards, and you have the option of following me, lifting the right leg first, lifting high, bending the knee, and peeling open the right hip. I'm taking a couple of breaths here. You don't have to do this. This feels too much for you. It's just a really nice hip opener. And then we'll all meet with the right knee outside the right hand. If you have any pain in the right knee, you're going to come onto your back and take your right ankle over the left knee and bring your legs in towards you. It'll give you the same access into your right hip. If you're on your front, just check your left leg is straight behind you. And come up a moment, press into your knees so you lift the pelvis. And even lift actually the right knee off the floor. And then you can place yourself back down again. And on a breath in, brighten the chest. Allow the pelvis to drop forwards. And as you breathe out, bring your forehead to the floor. Chin into your chest, breathe in, peel up.
And breathe out, forehead to the floor.
Last time, breathe in, peel up. Can you really squeeze the shoulder blades here as you ripple up?
And now as you breathe out, look over your right shoulder. A little bit of a twist. And breathe into the front. And breathe out, head to the floor.
Breathe in, come up, squeezing the shoulder blades.
And breathe out, look over the right shoulder. You bring all of your ribs, your left hip comes a bit with you. Lovely. Let's do that one more time. It's such a lovely little twist. Breathe into the front. Breathe out, come down.
Breathe in, come up.
And breathe out, look over your right shoulder. Really lovely. Breathe into the front. And then breathe out, come down.
Curl your back toes under. And lift yourself back to a downward dog. If you're on your back, you're going to change your legs so that your left ankle is over your right knee and you bring your legs in towards you. If you're on your front and you want to lift the left leg, go ahead, inhale, lift it up, bend the knee, peel open that hip. So you're looking under your left armpit to really open out the left hip, the left side of the body. Try not to slump in the right shoulder. And then look forwards and sweep the left knee forwards. Right leg extends behind you and check it straight. And then we scoop ourselves up a little bit. So you come up on the knees, lift the pelvis. And then you can jiggle yourself back down. Maybe you come down a little bit closer to the floor. Don't want any pain in your knee in this pose. And then breathe in, find that little back bend. And breathe out, come down, really slow, really methodical. And breathe and scoop up, squeeze the shoulder blades.
And breathe out, come down.
And breathe in, come up.
And this time breathe out, look over your left shoulder. Swing the whole of the torso around. And then breathe in, come to the top. And breathe out, come down.
Breathing in, come up. Squeeze the shoulder blades.
And breathe out, look over your left shoulder. Breathing in, come to the top. And breathe out, come down.
Last time. Breathing in, come up.
And breathe out, look over your left shoulder. Breathing into the front. And then come all the way down. Curling under your right toes. Bring yourself back to a downward dog. And looking in between your hands, walk or step your feet forwards. And inhale to a flat back. Exhale, fold completely. And inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Notice how you feel. So we're going through all the body today. Hips, shoulders, legs, core, spine. Breathing in, come up. And breathe out, come down. Breathing in, flat back. And step back to your downward dog. You can do what we're about to do on all fours if being in downward dog is too strenuous. Breathe in, lift the right leg up. And then on the breath out, knee to nose, bring your shoulders over your wrists. Breathe and lift the right leg. Breathe out, knee to the top of your right arm as your shoulders come over your wrists. Breathe and lift the right leg. Breathe out, knee to the top of the left arm, cross it over the body. And then breathe and lift the leg, point the toes, really, really lift it. And then your right foot comes in between your hands. Please drop the left knee. You can either release the toes or have the toes curled under. And bring yourself up here. If you want to, take the backs of your hands to your ribs. Now, it may be that this is accessible to you. If it's not, use one hand. It's absolutely fine. And rather than come into full lunge, I just want you to rock the pelvis forwards. Draw your palms together if they're there. But then open and come back again. So we're feeling our hands like butterfly wings and we're moving the pelvis forwards, a little bit of extension in the spine, but then we release. Come into a few rounds. Quite light. And then next time you come forward, sweep your arms over your head as if you're trying to catch a beach ball just behind you. And then inhale, come back again. You're drawing the pelvis back. And then exhale, sweep forwards. Take a few rounds. It's lovely for the spine. Probably feel it on the front of the left hip and thigh. Take one more breath in here. And then exhale, join me in a plank. Hands come down. Let's take a few breaths here for a little bit of stamina. If you need to drop your knees, obviously do. And we're drawing the front body into the back body, not lifting the bottom towards the ceiling. Take a breath in, and then on the breath out, drop your knees and roll all the way down over the front of your body. Arms by your sides, palms facing down. Keeping your hands and your feet pressing into the floor, breathe in and lift the chest and the head. And breathe out, come down. Let's do that 2 more times, really activating the back muscles. Breathe in, come up. Breathe out, come down. Breathe in, come up. And stay here, exhale. Take another breath in. And then gently come back down. Hands by your ribs. Push yourself to all fours and to downward dog. Resting whenever you need to. And the next part you can do on all fours or in downward dog, lifting the left leg up. And knee to nose, shoulders over the wrists. Inhale, lift. Knee to left arm, shoulders over the wrists. Inhale, lift. Cross the body, knee to right arm, shoulders over the wrists. Inhale, lift, point your toes. And then left foot comes in between the hands, right knee comes down. Now come up. Remember, you can have both hands at the back of the ribs or just one, doesn't matter. And then we come into that gentle rocking forwards and drawing back again. So your palms open as you come back. They close towards each other as you come forwards. You could also hold your elbows if that feels better. Just take a few rounds. And you can release your arms and come for that beach ball, that light ball behind your head. And then move in and out. Beautiful. One more little lift. And then place your hands down, come to plank, if that's available to you. Take a breath in here. And then either drop your knees or lower yourself down straight as a stick, Chaturanga Dandasana. You can even hover for a moment to gather strength in the core, the upper body, and then come all the way down. Arms by your sides. This time we're going to lift our chest, our head, our arms, and our legs. Inhale. Spread through the fingers and the toes. Exhale, come down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, come down. One more time, inhale, lift, and stay here if you can for a breath or two. Take a full breath in, and then exhale, come down. Hands by your ribs. Inhale to all fours, exhale, downward dog. Sweeping the right leg up. And this time, knee to nose. And then sweep it up. Exhale, knee to nose. We're not going for the cross version. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, knee to nose and step the right foot forwards. Bring the left knee down. On a breath in, now lift up the arms. And exhale, open your wings, slide the shoulder blades down the spine. Let's do that again. Breathe and reach. Exhale, slide down. Breathe and reach. And then take your left hand to the floor and come into a little twist to the right. Now, this may be where you want to stay. Maybe you want to curl your left toes under and lengthen out that left leg. It's possible that you'd like to bring this into a side plank, either with the right foot forwards or right foot on top of the left. 3 breaths in whichever version you've chosen. And then we come back into our twist. So the right foot comes forwards, twist to the right, take a breath in, find your plank, drop your knees or not, and come all the way down. Wonderful. Lift up your feet and see if you can reach your feet with your hands. If you can't, just keep your arms by your sides, reaching behind you. And then on an inhale, we come into a light bow pose. Press your feet into your hands, lift the chest. Exhale, come down. Breathe in, open. Breathe out, close. One more time, breathe in. And exhale, stay here. Maybe flex your feet and really work your legs into your hands. Take a full breath in. And then exhale, release. Hands by your ribs. And take a full breath in and out on your front. And we'll meet back in a downward dog to take that to the other side. Inhaling, left leg comes up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, lift. You can do this on all fours. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, lift. Exhale, knee to nose, and step the left foot forwards, the right knee comes down. Well done. Inhaling, arms lift. Exhaling, open your wings, fingers spread, Kali. Inhale, lift. Exhale, come down. One more time, inhale, lift. And then take your right hand to the floor, come into your little twist to the left. And it's absolutely fine for you to stay here or curl the right toes under, lift that right knee. Or begin to walk that left foot down the middle as you roll onto the outside of your right foot. For a version of side plank, maybe you bring the left foot on top of the right. 3 breaths in whichever variation you've chosen. One more breath in. And then we meet in the plank. Drop the knees if you want to. And come all the way down to your belly again. And take a full breath in and out here. Lift your feet. Maybe this time you take your hands inside the ankles, only if that feels good for you. You listen to your own body. And on an inhale, lift. And exhale, release. Inhale, lift. Doesn't have to be full, it could just be very slight. Exhale, release. And then inhale, lift and stay for a couple of breaths. Try to keep your knees close together. Take a full breath in. And exhale, bring your hands under your forehead as you have a little rest here. Notice the quality of the breath. Sensations in the body. And we'll take one more round of that little flow with another variation. So coming back to all fours, meet me in a downward dog. Inhale, float the right leg up. And this time, simply step the right foot in between your hands. And you have the choice of dropping the left knee or keeping it where it is. And coming up into high lunge. Exhale, open your wings as you dip deeper. Inhale, high. Exhale, open your wings. Really strong back leg. Inhale, high. And then exhale, left hand to the floor. Come to your twist. Remember, you can always drop the back knee. And then you can come into that side plank if you like, with the right foot down the middle. Take the right foot on top of the left. And the variation, if you want to, is to bring the right foot inside the left thigh. So you take a Viracasana, a tree pose in your side plank. Breathe. Only if you want to. Lift the hips. One more breath in. And then come to plank. Drop your knees now. Take your hands further out in front of you, but with your bottom right over your knees. Take your hands apart. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, drop your chest towards the floor. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, chest towards the floor. Breathe in, lift. And then we'll come down for a few breaths, heart melting pose. I'm holding onto the end of my mat to pull it. It may be that you prefer to have your hands underneath your head. You might be on your chin, you might be on the side of your head. But we're really melting now in between the shoulder blades, heart towards the floor. Breathe. One more full breath in and a long breath out. And then gently slide yourself back to your heels and stay on your forearms. Neck relaxed. Take 3 breaths here. Well done. Breathe into the back of the ribs. And then meeting me in a downward dog. And lifting the left leg up behind you. And sweeping the left foot forwards. Right knee can be up or down. Lift yourself up, inhale. And exhale, open your wings. Inhale, lift. Exhale, open your wings. Inhale, lift. Exhale, take your right hand down, twist to the left. So you can remember, you can stay here. You could walk your left foot down the side of the mat as you roll onto the outside of your right foot. Side plank variation, bring the left foot on top of the right. Or maybe take your Viracasana, your tree pose into your plank. Breathe. Take a full breath in and then meet me in plank. Drop your knees. Hips right over the knees. Take your hands forwards. Take a breath in and then melt on the breath out, heart towards the floor. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, melt. Breathe in, lift. And then breathe out, melt, come and stay for a few breaths. Remember, your hands can be under your head if you need to be. Beautiful. And then gently draw yourself back. Take your knees as wide apart as you need them to be in order to release back into a full extended child's pose. And come to your breath and soften the whole body. The shoulders, the ribs, the buttocks, the hips, the jaws. Let go. I'm going to add a little lateral stretch into our child. So if you'd like to walk your hands around to the right, as far as they'll go without your left sitting bone coming off the heel. When you've gone as far as you can go, take your left hand over the right hand and then drop the left shoulder.
Drop the right shoulder. And take a few breaths into the left side of the body. Actively breathe into the left side of the body. And then slowly come back to the center. Take a moment to settle before you come over to the left. And then you walk your arms out to the left as far as they'll go without your right sitting bone lifting off the heel. And take your right hand over the left. Drop into the right shoulder, drop into the left shoulder. And breathe into the right side of the body now. Completely soft in the mouth and the jaw and behind the eyes. Let everything go for a few more breaths. We'll take a few breaths just in our neutral child's pose again. So arms out in front or hands under your head might be really nice now. Breathe. And in your own time, come back slowly to a downward dog. We're just transitioning to standing. You can walk your feet and your hands together. You might like to hold onto your elbows to dangle for a few breaths here. If you want, your knees could be lightly bent. You might find you want to sway a little bit from side to side. Breathe, feel the decompression in the spine, that sense of cascading out of the pelvis. And then in your own time, rolling yourself up bone by bone, slowly coming up. No hurry. Feeling your verticality, it's good to come up to standing suddenly. We're going to come straight into Viracasana, which some of you did in your plank, straight into tree. So find somewhere to fix your gaze ahead of you or to the floor and take your right knee out. Left leg is rooted, really committing that left foot and leg to the floor. And bring your right foot as high up the leg as is right for you. And bring your arms up. We'll just come simply into a few breaths here. Finding your own stillness, even if you're moving in and out of the pose. Try hugging your hips in towards each other. Try pressing the raised foot and the inside leg of the standing leg in towards each other. So condensing inwards. Take a breath in and then gently release from the pose. Beautiful. Have a little shake.
And in your own time, bring your Viracasana, your tree pose, to the other side. Be aware that we're opening the hip first. We're not moving the whole pelvis, just the left hip. Right leg committing to the floor, rooting. Breathe. The full breath in. And then gently release. You might like to just flap gently from side to side. Beautiful. And then meeting me standing at the front of your mat. You might or you might not want your brick or book for this phase just to the right side of the foot. You don't, it's not necessary, it's only if you fancy it. Breathing in, arms come up. Lovely and slow. And breathe out, fold. And breathing into a flat back again. And then step your left foot behind you. Bring the foot in at 45 degrees. And your right heel is in line with the instep of the left foot. Really ground into the base of the body here. And then windmill your arms up. And come into Veerabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. We've done a lot of movement. Let's feel this pose now. Feel the solidity from the floor, the buoyancy in the upper body. Can you feel as if you're water in the upper body, flowing on the earthy surface of your lower body? Taking a breath in, and then as you breathe out, bring your hands to your hips and straighten the front leg. And it may be that as we come into triangle pose that you need to alter your position of your feet, maybe heel to heel rather than heel to instep. You find what's right for your pelvis. And then firm up both legs and reach to the right. Reach, finding length in the whole of the torso before you hinge. This is where you might like to take a brick inside the foot, outside the foot. We're not coming into forward fold. This is a side bend. You can peel your left shoulder back. Lift the left arm up. And it's really easy to hang out in triangle without firming up the front leg. So really lift from the kneecap and see how that gives you much more support. Take a full breath in. And then on the exhale, hand comes to your hip, bend into the front knee. And take your hand to your brick if you're using it and just take it out in front of you, just beyond the right foot. And slide the left foot in a little bit. Now I want you to make absolutely sure that your right foot is straight, because your right leg is going to hold you now as you float the left leg up. And you can start off by keeping the left hip dropped, so the back of your pelvis is in line with the ceiling. This is maybe where you want to stay, or you might like to open out, peel open the left hip like you did in downward dog, pushing through that left heel. You could keep your left arm over your back, or you could lift it up.
And this is a pose that lifts from the ground up. You expand from the ground up. So for lots of you, this may be where you want to stay or come in and out of it. Some of you might like to join me in the Chapasana version. You bring your left knee in towards you, holding onto the left ankle or foot, and bringing yourself into a little back bend, pushing that knee out behind you. Completely joyful, expansive back bend, one-legged balance. Breathe. Take a full breath in. And then we're all going to take our left hand to the floor with the left leg raised behind us. And then gently drop the left foot to the floor. So your feet are walking tram lines, not a tightrope. You might like to bend a little into that right knee. You can take your hands on a brick. And then we'll straighten that right leg and come into pyramid pose. Viracasana. Drawing the right hip back. Just making sure that your weight is equally distributed between both of your feet. And then looking forwards, bending a little in that right knee and stepping your left foot by the right foot. And coming all the way up. And we'll take those mindful standing poses to the other side. So you need your brick to the left. Breathing in, arms come up. And breathe out, fold. Breathing into flat back. Step your right foot behind you, align your feet heel to instep. Bend into that left knee. And bring yourself up to warrior two. So your right foot is in at 45 degrees. And find stability here. Softening in the face. You're looking over your left fingertips. And then straightening the front leg, you can bring your hands to your hips. Rearranging the feet if you need to. Before you lengthen to the left, reach, reach, reach. Maybe bring your hand to a brick, maybe not. Peel the right shoulder open. Maybe lift the right arm. So your left leg is working. You can feel your right hip moving to the right. Breathe. Take a breath in. Look down as you bring your hand to your hip and bend into the knee. And then we take the brick beyond the left foot. Slide the right foot in. Just check your left foot is straight first of all before you pour your weight into that foot. Lift the right leg. Let's start with a flat back. Right hip is dropped. It's great for the stability. And then from there, begin to peel open that right hip if it's right for you. Pushing through the heel. Maybe you lift your right arm. And take this pose from the ground up. Only if you want to join me in that final variation. Bring your right knee in, take hold of your right foot. And come into that little Chapasana back bend version. Taking a full breath in. And then we all take both hands to the floor. Drop that right hip with the leg raised, and then slowly drop the right foot to the floor. Arrange your feet so they're hip distance apart. You can be bending into that front knee before you straighten and come into your Viracasana. Breathe here. Keep drawing that left hip back. Soft behind the heart. From pyramid pose, walk your hands around to the long end of your mat. And just shuffle your feet out so they're really wide apart enough for a wide angle forward fold. Your toes can be in. And allow the torso to drop from the pelvis. If you want to, you could bend one knee at a time. That gives you a little bit more access. You could bend both knees. Slowing the breath down now. Very lovely. And in your own time, walking your hands around to a downward dog, we're just coming down to the mat. And we're going to take pigeon again. So either dropping your knees, rolling over onto your back, taking the right ankle over the left knee, or bringing the right knee forwards and sliding the left leg behind you, checking it straight. And we'll come into a little sleeping pigeon here. Really dropping into the hips, back of the heart. Breathe here. And you can stay in this pigeon. I'm going to take it into a twist because I'd like to, but you all might not want to join me for this. So I'm taking my torso and hands around to the right, and actually taking my left elbow close to the right knee as I sweep my right hand behind me, reaching for the right big toe. So we draw the shoulder back, we look over the right shoulder, and just take a few breaths here. It's quite intense, but we're very warm now after this practice, so you might want to come into this. Breathe. If you're in your twisted pigeon, gently come back to the front. And everybody lift up to straight arms. Lovely. And roll over onto the right buttock with your left leg extended. If you need to sit up on something now, that's fine. Or if you need to bend up that left knee, that's totally fine. And we bring our torso around to face the left leg. And breathe in, just find a little bit of length here, nothing too strenuous. And breathe out, come over softly into your Janushasana, over that left leg. So we're not looking for the biggest stretch or striving pose here. We're settling into our hips, settling into our shoulders. Breathe. And gently coming up. And bring your left knee over the right knee. So it's absolutely fine to have your right leg extended here. Coming into Gomukasana, cow face legs. And I need you to really feel your sitting bones rooting into the floor here. So there's a sense of really grounding. Doesn't that feel lovely? I hope it does to you. And you're fine to stay for a few breaths here. You might like to lean forwards. You might like to wrap your right arm over the left for eagle arms. Dropping the shoulders, relaxing in the face, and just coming to a few full breaths here. Very grounded, very steady, very settled. Taking a full breath in. Releasing your hands, and we're going to take a very gentle twist to each side. So take a breath in, find length in the spine, and then take a little twist to the left. You're not going to come far in this pose. Just a delicate twist. Take a full breath in and use your breath out to twist around to the more open side, to the right. Lovely. And then from here, we'll bring that sequence to the other side. So if you'd like to unravel, if you're coming onto your back for your pigeon, roll onto your back. If you want to open out into downward dog, just gently. If you're on your back, take your left ankle over the right knee, bring your legs in towards you. If you're on your front, left knee comes forwards. Lengthening the right leg behind you. And come into sleeping pigeon to begin with. Allowing the whole body to soften. Softening the brain as well. And you're welcome to stay exactly where you are or to join me for that funny little twist. So I'm bringing myself all the way over to the left, right elbow by the left knee. Sweeping the left arm behind to hold on to the left big toe. Or over the back, your lower back is fine. And then look over your left shoulder. Try to keep this very soft. Breathe. Taking a full breath in. And then we release forwards again. Straighten up our arms and roll over onto the left buttock to bring the right leg out to the side. Remember, you can sit on something, you can bend up the right knee, and you bring your torso around over the right leg. Finding length, breathe in first of all. And then reach towards the right foot. You don't have to hold on to the foot by any means. It might be right for you to keep your spine upright today. Relax into both shoulders. Drop into the hips. breathe. And very gently release. You're going to sweep your right leg over the left. You can extend the left leg if you need to. So by that I mean like this. You can come into the half version. You need to have both sitting bones grounded on the floor. And take a moment to arrive here, to really commit the lower body to the floor, to feel the spine lifting light out of the pelvis. You might like to stay here. You might like to come forwards. Or you might like to wrap your left arm over the right for Viracasana arms. Left over the right. We tend to cross the opposite arm over the top to the leg. So if the right leg is over the top, it's the left arm over the top. And really drop into the facial tissues, the shoulders, and soften here. And taking a full breath in. As you breathe out, release your arms. And we'll take that little twist to the right. So inhale, just find a little length. And exhale, take a delicate twist to the right. Take a breath in and use your breath out to come all the way around to the left. Nice open twist. Take a breath in. And then breathe out, come back to the front. And we'll take a very simple forward fold, a symmetrical forward fold before we come down to rest. So you have your legs out in front of you, and you could have them together or apart. You could have the knees bent. You could be sitting up on something. And all I really want you to do is fold forwards, but without a strain. We're just softening the lower back, the shoulders. You could even have your knees over a bolster. That would be lovely. Just for 5 full breaths. And in your own time, you can roll yourself up. Gather whatever you need for Shavasana. Maybe bolsters, blankets, cushions. And it may be you have something else you feel that your body needs, although I think I've covered most bases. You might love a headstand, for example. And we'll come otherwise to rest. And because of everything we've done with the shoulders and the hips, I would take the legs quite far apart and the arms away from the body to give yourself space to settle, space to breathe. Committing your whole body to the earth now. Allow it to have you as you rest and observe. And what do you find? You might like to stay a little longer, be absolutely fine. Or you might like to begin to take a few slightly deeper breaths, introducing any gentle movement into the body that's right for you to transition now. Don't feel that just because I'm suggesting that you come out that you need to. You might like to bring your knees into your chest, have a gentle massage over your lower back. Maybe roll over to one side. And eventually coming up to sitting with your hands together in front of the heart space, eyes closed. To observe how you're feeling now at the end of this practice. How you feel in your body. How you feel energetically. Quality of your breath. And any sense of your inner emotional, mental landscape right now. And I like to have a sense of the space that we're sharing together as we've practiced. Whether you're up in Ulverston, if you're in Lancaster, maybe you're in Milton Keynes or Devon. Taking a full breath in towards your heart space, and as you breathe out, allowing your chin to drop to your chest. Emptying your lungs completely before you gently lift your head, open your eyes. Thank you very much for joining me. Namaste.